So just give it a minute before we get started. All right, so welcome to this week's meditation. I hope you're having a good weekend. So last week we talked about meditation practice as a way to train our awareness. We talked about this concept of zooming in and zooming out to be able to find our balance between seeing really the details of something and being able to step back and seeing the bigger picture. So we practiced that. This week we are going to introduce a different aspect of mindfulness, which is not so much meditation but contemplation. So we're going to introduce a contemplative practice which is called Metta. It's known as loving kindness, and it's sometimes described as actually one of the two legs of mindfulness. So it's what we're going to dig into a little bit this week and do a practice. So what is contemplation in relation or in contrast to meditation? It's something we explored a bit in the frame that I posted yesterday. So I recommend that you check that out. And there's also a guided meditation in there. We looked at meditation as more of this capacity to be aware, to train our awareness in different ways. For example, to be able to look at things. So we might be able to, for example, step back and we can observe our thoughts, let's say, or our feelings, that we can step back and actually look at them, instead of what we're usually doing is automatically just seeing through them and acting through the thoughts and feelings and taking them for granted, or automatically trusting the feelings that come up. So meditation helps us do this more, stepping back and seeing, kind of observing what's happening, which can enable us to see through illusions and delusions that we put up for ourselves, and this can afford us to have insights. Now, contemplation, in contrast, is more actually looking out into the world, and this can be done in different ways. Again, we're going to do a metta practice today, which is all about taking a loving awareness, a loving attitude, directing that intentions of loving kindness toward ourselves, towards other people in our lives, and then broadening that circle of compassion to others. So this is it's not about trying to mechanically produce feelings of love and then projecting them out. It's actually maybe more of a kind of a switch in how we relate, so that we start looking at ourselves and others from a place of fullness, that we see the full humanity of ourselves and of others. We talked about this being mode in the frame yesterday, where we usually get stuck in kind of looking at the world around us, including ourselves and other people, from the having mode, that we are looking for stuff, to have stuff in order to fulfill our needs. And when this gets extended into personal relationships, we start getting into trouble, and what's called a modal confusion, where we start looking to have things in order to fulfill needs that are only fulfilled by actually relating or growing or being. So it's again, it's some way of shifting our perspective into the being mode. So we're cultivating this skill to kind of to see the fullness of ourselves and others. So again, it's a contemplation practice, and we're going to do a metta practice right now. I will guide you through it, but it's also important that you make it your own. So I'll give some room so that you can find the contemplations and the kind of phrases that resonate with you as well, so that we don't just mechanically recite something, but we're actually inhabiting and inviting this other perspective of looking at ourselves and others through this being mode. So I hope that makes sense, and let's give it a shot. So you can take your meditation position, and we're going to start as usual by grounding ourselves. You might want to close your eyes or keep an unfocused gaze, turning your attention inward, just experiencing the body. Letting the activity of the outside world fade into the background for a moment. Allowing yourself this time to settle in, to perhaps invite a relaxation in the body. Letting go of unnecessary tension that you may be holding. Just on an out breath, invite a sense of letting go, relaxing. And stabilizing your attention by finding the breath. So the first step of the metta practice is to set an intention. We're starting with ourselves. Start focusing now on yourself and set an intention of well-wishing, of loving kindness toward yourself. And feel into your body, so not intellectualizing, but actually feeling into your body, into your heart area, and just set an intention of well-wishing, of well-being. You may want to recite a few phrases that reflect this intention. So you might want to say, "May I be happy. May I be free from self-judgment, self-hatred. May I stay healthy and strong. Just experiment a little bit and see what resonates with you, what you can actually invite and feel in your body. You might even invite a soft smile to your face if that helps. And just find the phrases or the intentions that you can direct to yourself genuinely. And realize that you yourself is a complex human being with needs to relate, to grow, and to experience. You might have the intention to realize that. May I realize that I'm more, there's more to me than what I usually think. All right, and then we're moving on to a person in our lives. So I want you to now to picture someone that you love dearly, someone that's close to you, someone whom you naturally wish well, and bring that person into your mind's eye, either seeing that person in front of you or just bringing that person to mind in your thoughts. And invite again a maybe a soft smile or a softening in your body. And then invite those same intentions of well-wishing and happiness toward him or her. Stay connected with your body as you recite the phrases of loving kindness that reflects these intentions. May you be happy. May you be held in loving kindness. May you be free from suffering. Whatever phrases come naturally to you that you can relate to and really feel as you're keeping this person in mind. And again, realizing that there's more to this person than what we usually think. So you might want to recite, may I realize that there's more to you, or may I see your full human being. You can let the image of this person go, and then we're going to repeat the same process for a neutral person. So you might bring someone to mind whom you don't know very well, or whom you don't have particularly strong feelings for either way. There can be perhaps someone that you see every now and then at work or in the supermarket or whatever. Just choose someone and bring that person to mind in the same way. And then again, we're not trying to mechanically produce anything or force anything, but just keep that person in your mind's eye and try to see beyond the roles that you assign to this person. Notice if there's any tendency to assign certain identities or roles to this person, or maybe some image of what they're like, and seeing that that is most likely a very limited and partial view of who they are. So inviting again these intentions of loving kindness toward this neutral person, just something that feels natural, and you can recite these phrases to yourself in silence. Again, trying to stay grounded in your body and with the actual feelings rather than just intellectualizing or thinking. Stay connected with your body, and in particular, the area around the heart. And whenever you get distracted, no judgment, no reactivity, just center yourself, find your breath again. When you're ready, you can come back to the contemplation. We'll move on now to a person with whom you have some difficulty in the relationship. It doesn't have to be anything extreme, but someone you're struggling maybe to get along with in some way, or there's some disagreement, or you simply don't find this type of loving kindness coming naturally or easy. So again, not trying now to force anything, but when you've chosen a person who fit this category, then just invite the intention to see beyond the labels that you have assigned to him or her. See if you can realize that there's more to them than the opinions and the behaviors that you have come to associate them with. That they're a complex human beings, just like you, with their own desires and dreams, trying to be happy, going through life, that there's so much more to this person than perhaps what usually comes to mind when you think of them or when you meet them or interact with them. So just softly inviting this intention to see that there's more to them. And perhaps, if it's possible, directing some well wishing to this person as well. And again, when the mind wanders or you find yourself losing the practice, simply coming back to the breath, back to your body, and then see if you can renew your interest and enter back into the contemplation, this visualization and the intentions, deeply feeling that in your body. So kind of renewing the interest in the practice without any judgments. And we'll now move on to the last step, which is to extend these intentions to a wider group. And so you might feel just reviewing and seeing yourself and this person whom you love, the neutral person and the difficult person. Now just kind of in extending this same intention to expand it to other people. You might want to picture, for example, a big group of people, or you might kind of visualize your neighborhood, your entire city, your country, or even all humans on the entire planet. There's really no limit to the intentions you set here. Just make sure that you can stay grounded in your body, stay with the intentions. Just have the sense of extending these same intentions of love and kindness toward a wider group of people. So you may recite to yourself, may all beings be happy, find peace and harmony. Or again, simply for yourself, wishing that may I be able to relate to all beings from this place of love, from this place of seeing that there's more to each human being than what I usually realize. Okay, so wherever you are, come back to your breath for just a moment. Feeling again into your body. And whatever is present, whatever feelings, see if you can allow those to be here for now. Again, coming back to the breath, inviting the room back in, and we'll end the meditation. So this was one example of a metta practice, a contemplation that you can do as a complement to meditation practice. So we have meditation and contemplation. We have more like concentrating meditative practices, and then more contemplative practices of metta. And of course, sometimes it can feel a bit mechanical in the beginning, or hard to relate or really feel into these intentions in the body, just in the same way as it might be difficult with meditation in the beginning, with the mind wandering and actually staying and training awareness. And that's part of the process. So just as meditation is a practice, contemplation here is also a practice. And again, the goal is for us to shift our mode to be able to operate from this more being mode, where we can see humans not as objects with the having or possessing mode, but more the being mode, where we can see their fullness and relate to them from that place. So it's a practice. Again, the frame I posted yesterday is also touching on this topic. So please check that out. And as always, let me know if there's any questions or reflections that came up from this meditation as well. So yeah, so with that, I wish you a nice Sunday and a good ending of this week, and hope to see you next Sunday.